Hello, welcome to this video. I am Jenna Templeton. Wow, if you clicked on this video, that means we have something in common, and that is collecting Eki stamps. Eki means train in Japanese, and stamp obviously can mean postage stamp, but in this respect it means ink rubber stamp collecting. So I've been wanting to do this video for years. I've kind of been really personally, I don't know, I feel kind of alone in this secret love for Eki stamps and collecting them. I think thanks to obviously social media and YouTube now, maybe I haven't really seen many videos on YouTube. That's why I'm doing this video, because it's just this kind of thing that I've deep dived into personally myself. Obviously I love collecting things, so if anyone said to me, what's your interest in Eki stamps, I think it's normally people that love to collect things. Also people who like to document a place and time. Eki stamps are something that obviously are like commemorative stamps in a way of a place, a time, a thing. So being a journaler, if you're not sure, you've just popped on this video, I do journaling videos on here, Japan themed videos, lots of things like pen paling and different things like that. So this kind of love intertwines into all those sorts of things. So yeah, definitely collecting it's a form of documentation, and I guess also if you're a collector, you probably like the thrill to find these stamps that are kind of these Eki stamps that you can find filtered through the country in Japan in all different places. So I'm going to be talking about where you can find these Eki stamps, where they are, what kit you might need if you want to do like an Eki stamp kit. I took an Eki stamp kit over with me to Japan. Also, just in regards of the love of Eki stamps, if you're also into train stationery, especially for me, I'm into like train themed Japanese stationery. So I love all that. So obviously that's another side of Eki stamp collecting that I personally enjoy. So where to find Eki stamps? I'm going to start with that. You can find them pretty much anywhere. Some are kind of like squirreled away in corners of stations, airports, museums, event locations, parks have them. So it's really kind of a thing where once you kind of know the look of what an Eki stamp station looks like, just keep your eye out for that. So basically, yeah, they have Eki stamp stations filtered around in certain areas. Basically, whenever you go somewhere in Japan, look to see if they have an Eki stamp. Ask someone like at the counter, where it be a station. I know for Japan, if you're looking for Eki stamps in a station, they normally have like a wooden kind of table, and sometimes they have like a poster on the top, and they do also give you, if you're very lucky, which is very rare, kind of these beautifully designed sheets of paper, or just blank spare sheets of paper. And normally there's like this circle stamp which has like this little handle that you can hold on to stamp down, and then it's like attached with a keychain to a table. And yeah, that's where you kind of do your Eki stamping. When it comes to searching for Eki stamps in stations, they do have them in the exits. The thing with the Japanese train stations is that they can have multiple exits. So if you want to get seriously about Eki stamping, you really do have to take your time out from your travel. So I think it is harder for travelers, because you have a certain set of time, or you're racing to get a train. For me, I will say that I did dedicate time to searching for Eki stamps or asking for Eki stamps. So it might not be your preference to do that. But having said that, if you're just someone who wants to casually get them without really searching, you probably could find a lot on your journey wherever you're going. You would be going to many tourist attractions, I would assume. So definitely look for Eki stamps at tourist attractions, parks, events, theme parks, things like that. When it comes to looking for them in the station, they do have these things called the green box, and that's where you can ask for the Eki stamps, like if you can't find it. So there's different train lines in Japan, and certain ones have their own Eki stamps, or like along the line, depending on if they do them or not. But normally, if you want to ask for one, it's really quite simple. You just go, make sure you do your best. When I'm in Japan, etiquette is really And I think that's anywhere in another country. I think you need to be aware of etiquette and things to do. So I would never just barrel into one of the station offices or office, wherever I'm trying to find the Eki stamp, and be like, where's the Eki stamp? Like, I don't want to be rude. So basically what got me through is just saying arigato gozaimasu, depending on if it was like also morning or evening. And I'd say Eki stampu. And so they instead of saying stamp, they say stampu. So that's a little tip there. And I would normally kind of even show them my book. I had a traveler's notebook and I had the official Eki stamp books. Now I'll get to them towards the end of the video, but I would show like an example of what I'm talking about. Like, it might not be the exact stamp. So I'd show them an example of something I've already stamped in my book so they could kind of get an idea if I didn't sound like I was saying it right. I felt when I had the official train guide books, there was a number of times where I kind of walk in and they could see me holding it up to them, and they would get the stamp from underneath the counter, or they would go straight into directing me where to find the Eki stamp. So I think having those official train stamp books from Japan is definitely something could be helpful if you feel a little bit lost in translation. But really quite simple. Japan language is all about not so much words, but sounds, facial reactions. So I also made it a habit of, if someone got a stamp out from underneath the counter, I'd be like, oh, and like kind of nodding my head and things like that to thank them. So there's little things like that kind of be kind of helpful, and people willing to share. I had this really fun experience where I went into one of the green offices to get one of the Eki stamps, and there was a gentleman behind me, and he could see I was asking for them, and he looked at me and saw my book, and I had a similar book to him. I had the official train stamp book, and I also had a spare pad of paper, and I had the same one as him, and he just looked at me and we just like smiled at each other, and he goes, "You collect Eki stampu too?" And I was just like really nice. Like, I had this like community feel. And it's just like, I feel like it's starting to feel like that across, finding more people that do enjoy and love the collecting of Eki stamps. So yeah, there's some tips. So like I said, you can find them at all different places, from tourist attractions, events, parks, you name it. There's even some restaurants that have them. So I kind of went into the thing of just like asking all the time for stamps. If I didn't see like one of those wooden tables with the attached stamp there, I would ask someone. I would go out my way to do that. Another thing that you can search for is definitely they do stamp rallies in Japan. That's something to definitely watch out for, is a stamp rally. A stamp rally normally means, if it comes to like a station or train stamp rally, it normally means you've got to visit a number of stations to get the official stamp. And then at the end, once you collected them all, you get some sort of reward. If you're very fortunate, they also do like character themed stamp rallies. Like, there's been like Studio Ghibli ones, like Pokemon ones. There's like so many. I was really fortunate to come across a couple of stamp rallies on my recent trip to Japan. And one of them was the train stamp rally. And I think it was like a play rail stamp rally, and another one was in a shopping mall. So the shopping malls have stamp rallies too occasionally. So that was really fun. I was able to do that, and for the shopping mall like stamp rally, I did get the reward at the end, which was a pen, and I was so excited. It was like so cool to be part of a stamp rally. So that's like another thing that you definitely can participate in if you're fortunate to be there at a time when there is a stamp rally. I used to see the stamp rallies as a really rare thing, but now I feel like they're popping up like every few months or so. I always refer to Eki stamps, but the Eki stamps probably refers to more for like the train stamps, where the other stamps I still call them Eki stamps, but they are normally from like an event or a place or a park or something like that. Another thing that you can check to find these stamps is character stores, like character goods stores. So there's a couple of stores that have Eki stamp stations inside the character stores. And a couple of them, just to mention here, are the Chikawa. Chikawa are these kind of little crazy, happy looking, I don't know, they're kind of like cats, but they look like bears, they look like rabbits. Stamps characters are really popular in Japan right now. All their shops have a Eki stamping station, so I did get a couple of them. My first one was when I went to Sendai. When we traveled around Sendai, we went to a few of the character stores there, much more quieter, which was great because those character streets in Tokyo Station are just insanely busy. Another place that has Eki Stamps in a character shop is the Jump Shop. So they do like anime goods, I think like One Piece themed like character goods and things like that. They also have Eki Stamps, like a stamping station too. Another place you can grab them is from Animate stores, which are anime themed manga, comic/anime goods stores all over Japan. And these ones are really cool in the way that they actually theme the stamps around the prefecture. So the one at Sendai had the Tanabata on it, which are the hanging Tanabata decorations for Tanabata season. They have up at Sendai. The Fukushima had the Red Bull on their stamp. So I love prefecture goods. That's another side of something that I collect is prefecture mascot stationery and goods. I love all that. So I think this is another reason why I love the Eki Stamps, because a lot of places you visit will have like the mascot of that prefecture or town on the Eki Stamps. So that's why it's really great. Another thing you can collect Eki Stamps if you're lucky, if you're a stamp collector, is some gachapon machines have Eki Stamps. So I went to Kamakura and I found this really amazing Enodin gachapon stamp, and it's the best thing, one of my favorite souvenirs I brought home. So definitely look out for them because I think they're really special, and I'm really grateful to anyone that sends me Eki Stamp samples or anything related to that too. The reason they're there is they're exciting to collect because they can be rare, they can be discontinued, and it's essentially a collector's item. So I hope you're enjoying this video. I'm going to jump into showing you some more Eki Stamp themed things I have. I'm going to show you quickly my books, my Eki Stamp collecting books, and what you might like to get in an Eki Stamp kit together for when you go over to Japan. Okay, now I'm going to deep dive into some more tips just as I'm meditating over this as I film. I keep on thinking of different ideas and things that I want to share, or just tips mainly, tips and things that I want to share with you in regards to Eki Stamp collecting. So as you can see, these are my Eki Stamp books here. I think this is all the ones from my recent Japan visit. Yeah, so I would say I'm a serious stamp collector. So if you're someone who just wants a couple of stamps and to chill and enjoy your holiday, you can no doubt probably fill like a little notebook, half a notebook, and be quite happy and content. I would say I'm in the serious Eki Stamp collector category, completely obsessed. So that's why I have so many different journals just from the one trip, and we're there for about 3 weeks. And that brings me to, like, in case anyone wants to know, how did I get into Eki Stamp collecting? How did I find out about it? I did find out about it myself, even though it's probably more popular now and people are more aware of it because of social media. For me personally, I love collecting things. I love collecting stamps. I used to collect postage stamps and things like that. So I'm a collector. So if I see something like this, like collecting stamps, reminds me of kind of country markets we used to have in Australia as a kid, and we would go around and try different foods and things at these country fairs, and they'll kind of give you a stamp as a special stamp collector, like you do like basically a stamp rally. So I've always loved it. I discovered Japanese Eki Stamps in a Japanese magazine, probably early 2000s or so. Yeah, so that's how long, and yeah, then I did lots of research on like where to get them, the different, like I call them passports and travel, like Eki Stamp books. I've had many of these on my wish list for years, and I'm really excited to let you know about some of these because I think a lot of people don't know too much about some of the official train Eki Stamp books you can get in Japan. I actually told one of my lovely friends, Kayla from Rainbowholic, she has like a cool stationery store and she loves Eki Stamps. I remember I was telling her about these and these like the official kind of stamp things and how not many people know about them, and I think I might have inspired her purchase because I know she ran out and got them straight away herself to enjoy. So I did share that with a few Japan friends while I was over there, like who had Eki Stamp books, and it's really great when you've got friends that you can chat about your obsession with. So yeah, I hoped to do this video sooner to share these books and that, but it's just me and I'm just doing the best I can with I do Patreon. Just a little quick shout out before I get this, because no one's going to cheerlead for me. I have to kind of do this. It's my only form of income. I don't make anything from YouTube. So I have an Etsy shop and I do have a Patreon where I make exclusive goodies. Now again, just to clarify the obsession with stamp collecting, I've had Patreon for probably, I had my 3-year anniversary, so I'm going to my 4 year now of Patreon creation. I do lots of content on journaling, Japan, pen paling, craft, DIYs, things like that. So there's lots of video workshops even on zines and different things, stationery, my obsessions, and one of those things is you can get when you sign up. It's still up there. You can download this little zine, and I was doing like a kind of, I was designing these kind of stamp badges slash like Eki Stamp style stamps, and you can still get some of them, but I do keep many of the stamps exclusive for the month, but you can still get some of them, and I've been making new ones. One of the latest ones is this. I actually made a little stamp sheet, and it's printable, so you can get this as a printable. It's got like the separate stamp on another bit of the paper that you can put on, but this one's going into my Patreon Happy Mail. So I did a Kawi rail themed Eki Stamp, and I designed like the little paper because they have different, this is what I mean, how they got some places they have different paper designs and you can stamp on. So I did like a kawaii themed. So yes, I do have Stamps, a little stamp collector album, and I've been making more Eki Stamps since getting back to Australia. I've missed Eki Stamp collecting, so what do? You design your own Eki Stamps. This is actually a cool little A to Z scrapbook, just another project I'm working on with Patreons in a video, and yeah, what I'm trying to get at is I have printables over there. There is lots over there, like 3 years worth of printables, videos, posts, different things. So yeah, this is like something I've just designed. I've done some of these over the years, and then I did a bunch when I got back because I was missing Eki Stamp collecting so much. And my current little collector rally, because I did do the stamp rally, the collector rally, I have these collector cards because yes, I was a collector card kid, and I used to collect cards. So it's been probably about a year or so I've been doing these. So I'm up to number 10 basically. And to get this right, I know this is missing some of them, but there's collector cards here, and again, these are special rewards for monthly pledges. So there's different themed ones I've got there. So yes, the collector kid in me, just a little shout out for that. I hope that's okay to mention. I love to hear like your stories on collecting Eki Stamps and your adventures and that, so do let me know. Okay, jumping in because I wanted to show you my Eki Stamp kit. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the books for Eki Stamp collecting and maybe an Eki Stamp kit. So if you're creating an Eki Stamp kit, these are my tips and these are the things that I personally used when I was doing my Eki Stamp collection in Japan. Probably the one thing missing here, and I'll just quickly mention it, is ink. Now, the stamp stations, some stamps are a bit more used than others, so you might not get a great stamp. Now, I'm a bit half and half on this. I have heard or seen people using their own ink on a Eki stamp when the ink pad's dried up. I'm a bit half on this because I'm on the half that I've just been brought up not to do anything to anyone else's property, like as an etiquette thing, not to damage anyone else's property that's not mine, etiquette on that. Japan is very big on etiquette as well. I think that's why I love Japan too. We have a similar thing, like it's like, oh, that's rude, or yeah, like that. So I'm just very aware of things like that. So I would kind of half this idea about bringing ink and fixing a stamp. What I would first do is I prefer to go up to the office where the stamp is located and maybe let them know, hey, the ink stamp's dry, do you have another solution? If I had my own ink, normally the Eki Stamp inks are in like red, blue, black, and I have seen green. I would only stamp the stamp if I knew I had the exact same color ink as what they have with the stamp. And again, I would probably still go and ask someone, is it okay for me to do this, before I kind of, ruined their stamp. Because if they've got a certain color stamp and someone sticks another stamp color on, I don't know, like, again, I'm really half. Like, I know this might upset some people. They're gonna be like, oh, I just do it, whatever. But I'm really big on etiquette and things that aren't my property, and just being careful of things like that to not disrespect anyone. So yeah, half and half. I think the best way to go is just ask them. Just let them know the ink's low, and then maybe they can kind of fix that for you. Okay, so jumping right in. So in my Eki Stamp Kit, I've got my Eki stamp books. I'm going to talk about different ones that you can get, different stamp books you can get and use, and some extra things that might be handy for stamping, because when you're stamping, they don't always come out perfect. So it's always good to have something a little extra as a backup for when you're doing your stamping. So when you're traveling and you're on the run and you're on the go, let's be honest, you need a place to put your stamp books that are very easy to get, that you're also not going to lose, because these are collector's items in the future, that's for sure, for your personal documentation. So what I did was because I was traveling, from Australia, I was in Sakura season, so it was a little bit cold, but I thought it was pretty warm. I had one of my jackets that had inside and outside pockets, so I shoved a number of books in those pockets in my pad. So basically, I had this white pad, I had a TN passport, I had whatever main book I was using where I was a TN, or the official stamp book, and I also had my bigger traveler's notebook journal jotter for my travel trip. So I basically had either this or I had something like this. So I always had one stamper, an extra journal stamper, I call it like for documentation when I came home and for jotting when I was on the go, and then the backup. This is an angel. So get yourself a plain notebook, just that you can tear out pages easy. And I was so happy about this kit because I saw like a professional, like older gut man, Japanese man, and he had the same things as me, and I was like, I just smiled to myself. It's like, oh, I feel like a professional now. I don't know, it was just a funny moment. So these are really great because you want backup sheets to stamp on, and maybe you're collecting, you want to get a few because if you're like me and you're a journaler, you might want to go and stick them in another journal for when you get home. It's also great to use when you've just inked a stamp. I've actually got manhole cards in here as well, so I did that collect too. They're also good, because sometimes you can stuff your stamp up in your book. You might not get a great stamp, so I always had basically these in the back. So blank ones are these in the back, and then also you can, if you had spare ones after you stamped and you didn't want it to rub on the other side, you can use it as like special like blotting paper. So it works both ways. Blotting paper, extra collection in case your book even ran out, because you could be very lucky to get full stamp stations. There was some that had not just, it was amazing moment when it wasn't just one Eki stamp, but it was like a collection of Eki stamp. We went to lots of tourist centres, so definitely check tourist centres. That's another place to have the Eki stamps. So when I didn't have my jacket on and it was really like warm because I was walking around like everywhere, I had this little Moomin bag that I actually got from the Moomin theme park, and I could slot the little Eki stamp books in here. This one was a bit more harder. I did have, I think, this big one in here, which was perfect. I think I remember I had it in here like this, and then other ones in my pocket, and then I had like my main wallet and that here. So that's definitely something to consider. These type of strappy bags are great. You also have other things to contend with, like your rail passes and things like that. So I just pockets. to grab out, and a little mini strap pouches is great for, because I think, no, I've never seen anyone mention about getting your Ekis, traveling with your Eki stamps on the go. It's just such an important tip. When I was doing it, I'm like, I gotta tell them when I get back to have these sorts of things. Like even if you have like a cool little bum bag, something like that, something really easy access. So I've talked about this free paper book, and it's definitely something I recommend. Now there's different type of Eki stamp books that you can get. I feel like the main ones that everyone kind of already knows about now is probably Muji. Muji have little passport size stamp books, and the reason why I think these ones are popular, if you can see, is that I love Traveler's Notebook. So Traveler's Notebook is a very popular stationery journal brand in Japan, and many of us who are journalists and love collecting Eki stamps, it was just a quick, pretty much a very obvious decision to use these books. Another way to use these books and put them in our Traveler's Notebooks. If you don't know about Traveler's Notebooks, you're ready to go down a rabbit hole. So definitely check them out. Again, you can really use any notebook. If you're looking for a notebook, the things I will look for, like, so this Muji one's got dots on it, so I don't think I would use that. But this Muji one, with its blank pages, are good. I do feel like they have a bit of bleed through, so that is why you only really can stamp on, like, yeah, one page a spread. I had things like this while sticking memo notes in, so you could do things like that. I haven't finished decorating these, and I need to do proper flip throughs, but I hope this is the idea of the stamps. This is one of the Chikawa stamps I mentioned, the character stamps. I'm going to save flip throughs of these because I just want to focus on the kit, because I want to make so many videos, I tell you. So many videos. Oh, they're the park stamps. They're so beautiful. That's a park, so Inokashira Park. There was like a bunch of stamps at that place in the like tourist office, so definitely make your way to those tourist offices in parks and different things like that. That's where you find them. This is the first one I used. I've been wanted the official rail ones on my list for forever. There is a big monopoly company that obviously will sell them online. I'm not going to mention their name because they probably get enough customers. So if you can try and buy these from an independent seller, or when you get over to Japan, definitely do that instead. So I did have this already, and it's some Muji journals, and I took this over. So this is my first one, and you can see I started, my first stamp was in the airport, and I was so pumped to get this because I think I get really excited when I've never seen certain stamps. Like, I never seen anyone stamped, like at the time of doing this, I never seen anyone stamp this one, so I felt like, oh, I found a rare one, like things like that. And even the monorail stamp, I think that's pretty, like, I'm pretty pretty obsessive Eki stamps, so I kind of aware of different ones. So I was pretty excited when I saw one I'd never seen. Those are beautiful ones from Sendai. See, like I said, I had stuffed up the stamp here. It was a bigger stamp, it needed more ink, so that's what the extra paper did definitely come in handy. This was a Fukushima train stamp rally, so I did get a few. I'm going over this, it's been a while, like even since my trip already, and I'm flicking through and I'm getting a little bit happy, teary, just memories, because I haven't really sat and got these out. I think I procrastinated on this video for so long. Yeah, I was like, oh, why would anyone want, I wasn't sure if anyone would be interested. Yeah, so definitely, this is the Traveler's Notebooks books. So I did do stamping there. So these are my official just stamp books, but I don't know if I'm going to add any stationery or memorabilia yet. I still don't know. But what I did do is this is my Japan Jotter daily journal. And I've got some more Japan journals coming up. So I do exclusive videos on Patreon. So this video for this journal is on Patreon. I go into detail. I also designed some more printables. There's lots of printables, Japan themed printables on there, and a little manhole card. I did my own manhole card design. I can see Eki Stamps here. So I do the journaling over there. So just an example of how I use my Eki Stamps in my journal. So there's a bunch of pages that I've journaled over in that video if you want to see more Japan journal themed videos. So this is the type of thing that I do. I stick the Eki Stamps in and add different journaling and things like that. yeah, just to document. So this is the airport page, and yeah, I kind of made extra samples. That's what I kind of used to do then. And then I also, I go into this journal, I obviously did stamp onto the page, so I did have this with me. So that was my little jotter of, yeah, just for Japan. So more on that over on my Patreon. Now the official Japan books. Okay, so where to find the official Japan books? They have them in the Japanese bookstores, and if you're unaware, the Japanese bookstores actually have a huge train-themed book and magazine section. And they have these there. They do put them in the front of the store now because I think a lot more people are asking for them. So they are at the front of some of the stores. I'm trying to think of the name of the bookstore at the top of my head. There's Murray Zen. I got some from then. Kinokuniwa, obviously. There was another one I went to, another bookshop, and I got a bunch of Suica Penguin stationery as well. Definitely check out any of the bookstores that are located like in train stations and things like that. You can find them. There's also stores like trains themed stationery stores like Trainy Art. There's train museums. I went to the Sadama the Omiya train railway museum. So there's lots of places like that where you can pick these official guides up. Yeah, there's a few train shops. I'm going to do another video hopefully on that. I filmed stuff already. I just got to get this up. But these are the official guides. These are the ones where I kind of walked into a office if I couldn't find the Eki stamp myself, and kind of walked in, and before I could even say it, they saw the book, they like smiled, and they grabbed the stamp out from underneath the counter. They knew straight away. So I feel like this is like kind of a shortcut in asking in getting these kind of Eki stamps. So yeah, I did fill these up too, and these are really lovely how they got the index. They've got like a map. I was really excited to come back and share this because I'd never seen anyone mention them, and I thought maybe because people thought they weren't very glamorous. So yeah, so just yeah, I just don't think many people know about these. Yeah, so there was a lot of train themed shops that I went into as well. Yeah, so I also, while I was collecting Eki stamps, I collected manhole cards, especially if I was going to the tourist office. I was going to ask for Eki stamp and a manhole card, so you get two collecting things done in one go. So more on that sort of stuff later. So they're the official guides. I also, on a stamp rally that I went on, I only got this at the later in my trip because these brochures, oh my god, they were taken, they were barely hard to find. And then we went to like a smaller outer area in Tokyo, and I grabbed one, and is this the one I got? I must have another one because I did get like one stamp on this. So this is like what the stamp rally brochures look like, and then they've got like the different keychains, like that might be the reward at the end. So yeah, and so that's like an example of a stamp rally. On that note, I also found this part of the play rail. So yeah, oh, I must have started collecting some stamps in here when I was there. So that could be, no, that's the Shimbata station. I think I just started using this for some of my stamps. It's always like different things hidden, different stamps and that hidden in here. So yeah, that's obviously was part of play rail. I've never seen one of these before. Yeah, so that was really exciting to get that. And here's just while I'm here, this is another stamp rally. I did at Kamakura, one of my favorite places in Japan. So I did get a few of them, and here's an example of the stamp that's dried up. So what to do if a stamp is dried up and you can't get the stamp. There are websites online where you can kind of find pictures of the stamps, and maybe if you're a little bit sneaky, you could kind of print them off and stick them in your journal. Okay, like I'm going to say it because it can be frustrating when you go somewhere and you can't find the stamp. So there's a few, there's an online one, I think there's one called Funya. They have like some versions of the stamps online. Nothing's going to beat the collecting, but I just think it's nice to have a backup plan, hey, if you can't grab the stamps. I've also been sharing stamp samples in my Patreon Happy Mail, so if you want some stamps or things designed by me, you definitely can see that. On that note, another thing that I haven't seen people mention, and I'm going to mention it here, is that you can, if you're very lucky, you can pick up these little Eki stamp books. They also have ones like this on Goshuin stamping. So Gosha stamping, that's another book. So Goshuin is another form of stamping that is available at Temples. I think, I'm sorry if this is upside down, it might be. So I did collect a few Goshen stamps there, and they're special sacred stamps done by monks at temples. I could do another video on this, definitely. Some people choose to do their Eki stamping in these beautiful books because they have really thick paper, so you definitely could print on front to back. I've also seen some sewn or accordion-like journals similar to this that kind of go this way, and they're like they're double papered, if you know, if you can see this thickness because my camera's blurring. Use Eki stamps to this. I think this will look amazing with your Eki stamps, even souvenirs in it. Back to etiquette, if you have a Goshen book but you want to get Goshen, have the separate book for Goshen stamps, okay? It can be very insulting if you have Eki stamps in your book and you give it to a monk to do Goshen. It's just impolite. I think they wouldn't be rude to you if you did give it to them. You probably could do it, but for etiquette standpoint, I would not do it. I don't want to disrespect their culture. Again, Goshen stamps are a sacred thing. You normally go and you will pray, give your blessing at the temples before you ask for a Goshen. So I kind of I think it's very important for me to follow these cultural rules and traditions. But definitely you could have a different one for Eki stamping that you just have not for Goshen. So I got this beautiful cherry blossom one. I actually got this from a stationery store in Sendai. So yeah, that was really cool. And then on that note, yeah, I have this cool stamp book and it's got all the Eki stamp samples in it, and they have some latest ones, which is good because on my first trip I wasn't able to get, like, years and years ago. What was it? Was it 2000? No. When was it? 2009. I said 19. I think my last trip was 2009 is what I meant, not 19. They didn't have some of these, and then I missed out on getting some of them from other locations I went to. Like I went to Nagano, I went to different other locations, Kyoto. I missed out on getting all those. So I kind of think, oh, they have some of the stamps in here. I also love this because they also have discontinued stamps. So it is great from a collective point of view to see the stamps. And I'm just completely obsessed with Eki stamps, okay? So definitely they have books like this if you know where to look. Again, they have them in the bookstores, the magazine shops in Japan if you go head to the train section. I can't read kanji. I wish I could, but I just walk the aisles until I find my section. It's normally the travelers section. I love Japan travel themed magazines. You can learn a lot from pictures, craft books and art books and it's just, I spend a lot of time in the bookstores. Love, love, love. So yes, definitely something you could get for later on collecting when you're missing that Eki stamp. Love collecting, you know, if you want that Eki stamp experience back home, definitely these are options. Just talking so fast, I hope that this video was informative for you. I hope you learnt a lot more about Eki stamping that you might not have known. I hope it inspires you to get your Eki stamp collector on. And yeah, let me know about your Eki stamp adventures. Yeah, what was your favorite Eki stamp that you found and the location you found it. Again, I really want to deep dive into doing some flips and chatting more about the stamp locations. And I have lots of vlog footage of yeah, going to different spots in Japan. I've just been really slow getting this content up because I do put a lot of time and love into Patreon creating. That is my only form of income, as I said. So I work full time on that. And I only get a few days off every now and then. So yeah. Again, YouTube is like something that I do in my free time to give to others to enjoy and just to kind of celebrate our loves and obsessions together. And I really love Eki stamping, and it's great that there's more people that are getting into it and we can share our knowledge with each other. It's just really wonderful. Okay, alright, bye for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.